We know the advantages in speed gain and other efficiencies that getting aero on the flat gives us, but what about when the road tilts upwards? It's time for some more GCN Does Science. Well, depending on the gradient, the effects of aerodynamics will be lessened somewhat due to gravity kicking in and the far slower speeds that you're moving at. But there are still some small aero advantages to be made by getting yourself into an aero position and using some aerodynamic equipment, as demonstrated by the pros. But exactly how much of an advantage? Well, I'm going to try and find out how much of an advantage there is, if any, here on part of the Tantro route of stage 18 of this year's Tour de France, on the climb of the Côte de Domancy, as used in the 1980 World Road Championships, won by none other than French legend Bernard Hinault. And they've actually named this road after him, the Rue de Bernard Hinault. The TT course in the Tour de France is 17 kilometers long, but the first 4K are pan flat, and then the final 2.5K are all downhill. So I'm going to ride the midsection, which climbs for about 7.5 kilometers, gaining 500 meters in height, giving an average gradient of about 6.7%. Now I'm going to ride that twice. First, I'm going to ride it on an all standard road setup, basically riding at 300 watts as measured by my Power to Max power meter. Then I'm going to ride it again at the same power, but this time I'm going to aero up, as it were. So I'm going to wear a Casque Bambino aero helmet and some tri-bars, just to see if there are any advantages. Well, there you go, run number one, 25 minutes, 22 seconds, with an average of 313 watts. I think you need to lie down before run number two. So it's time now for run number two. Got my aero helmet, the Casque Bambino, and of course the tri-bars with a slight weight penalty up front. Let's do this. So I've finally finished run number two. I'm drenched in sweat, absolutely exhausted, and definitely in need of a lie down. But my time was 25 minutes and 10 seconds, so 12 seconds quicker than my first run. But significantly, I did it for less watts. Now this run, I did an average of 303 watts, opposed to 313 watts on my first run, primarily because I was a little bit exhausted, and the accumulated fatigue definitely had an effect. But as you can see by those results, there definitely are some advantages for going aero. And it's worth bearing in mind that on this particular course, I rode exclusively uphill for 7.5K with an average gradient of 6.7% and made some savings. So when you factor in the very flat 4K at the beginning and the downhill section at the end, that's when aerodynamics will really kick in and give the riders that extra advantage. Now, as I've got aero bars on this particular setup, how about clicking just up here to see exactly how to fit them onto your bike? And for how to get more aero on your road bike, how about clicking just down here? And to subscribe to GCN, click on the globe.